In the mid-1990s, while the world was just beginning to understand the power of the internet, one man saw something far beyond the horizon, a digital frontier waiting to be conquered. His name was Jeff Bezos, and his story isn't just about wealth, innovation, or technology, it's about vision, the kind that turns a small garage into the headquarters of one of the most powerful companies on Earth. Welcome to Success Chronicles, the place where we uncover the real stories behind the world's greatest entrepreneurs and dreamers. If you're new here, welcome. You're about to witness one of the most fascinating journeys in modern history. And to our returning viewers, thank you for being part of this growing community of dream chasers. Make sure you stick around till the end because Jeff Bezos' story isn't just about success. It's about the relentless pursuit of an idea, no matter how impossible it seems. Our story begins in Albuquerque, New Mexico in 1964. Jeff Bezos was born into a world that had no internet, no smartphones, no cloud computing, just pure analog reality. Raised by a teenage mother and adopted by his stepfather, Miguel Bezos, a Cuban immigrant, Jeff's early life was far from glamorous. But what set him apart was curiosity. From a young age, he wasn't just asking questions. He was building things, breaking things, and rebuilding them again. His childhood wasn't filled with toys, but with experiments. In the garage of his parents' home, young Jeff turned his hands to science projects, small inventions, and dreams that reached far beyond his neighborhood. Even then, the garage wasn't just a space, it was a laboratory of imagination. And little did he know, it would become the symbolic birthplace of his empire decades later. Fast forward to the 1980s. Jeff graduates from Princeton University with degrees in electrical engineering and computer science, the perfect foundation for a future shaped by technology. He could have followed a safe path, climbing the corporate ladder, earning a comfortable living and calling it a day. But something inside him refused to settle. After working on Wall Street and climbing fast through the ranks of investment firms, Jeff encountered something that would change everything: the internet. At the time, very few people understood it, but Bezos saw the numbers. Internet usage was growing at an explosive rate, 2,300% per year. That statistic hit him like lightning. While others dismissed it as a passing fad, Jeff saw the future, a digital marketplace that could serve millions, even billions of customers. And so, in 1994, Jeff made a decision that most would call crazy. He quit his high-paying job, packed up his life, and moved to Seattle. There, he began sketching out a plan that would eventually change the way the world shops forever. He called it Cadabra at first, inspired by abracadabra. But when a lawyer misheard it as cadaver, he quickly rebranded it to Amazon, a name inspired by the world's largest river. The symbolism was clear. Jeff didn't just want to build a company, he wanted to build the largest, most customer-focused business on the planet. Amazon began in 1995, not in a shiny office or a corporate building, but in a humble garage. Jeff, his wife Mackenzie, and a few friends worked tirelessly, packing books by hand, sealing boxes, and driving to the post office themselves. The first product ever sold? A book. But it wasn't the sale that mattered. It was the system, the vision, the scalability. Jeff knew books were only the beginning. In those early days, the challenges were enormous. The internet was new, people were skeptical, investors were cautious, and critics were loud. Online shopping? Who would ever buy something they can't touch, they said. But Jeff didn't listen. He was obsessed, not with profits, not with fame, but with customers. He famously said, "We're not competitor obsessed, we're customer obsessed." He reinvested every dollar back into the company, often frustrating investors who demanded quick profits. But Jeff's vision was long-term, a 10, 20, 30-year plan. He wanted Amazon to be a company that endured. To him, building for the future mattered more than pleasing shareholders in the present. By the late 1990s, Amazon went public. The company's stock skyrocketed, and then, almost as quickly, crashed with the dot-com bubble.
Many internet startups disappeared overnight, but Amazon survived. Why? Because Bezos had built his company not on hype, but on structure, systems, and service. He had a philosophy: get big fast, but never at the expense of quality or trust. When competitors closed their doors, Bezos doubled down. He diversified Amazon beyond books, adding music, electronics, toys, and more. The company grew relentlessly, and the logo, that small curved arrow, began to mean something. A to Z, everything you could ever want in one place. As Amazon expanded, so did Bezos' ambition. He wasn't content with just being an online bookstore or even an e-commerce giant. He wanted to redefine logistics, technology, and eventually, humanity's future.
In the 2000s, Bezos launched Amazon Web Services, AWS, a cloud computing platform that many at the time couldn't understand. Why would an online retailer need to rent out server space? But in time, AWS would become one of the most profitable divisions of the company, powering much of the internet itself. The same visionary who once sold books was now selling digital infrastructure to the world's biggest companies. But success came with storms. Amazon faced criticism over labor practices, competition, and control of the retail industry. Yet Bezos remained focused. His leadership philosophy, disagree and commit, encouraged innovation even when the path was unclear. He built a culture of experimentation, where failure wasn't feared, but studied. He believed that if you weren't failing, you weren't innovating enough. Through the 2010s, Amazon became a global force, revolutionizing how we shop, read, stream, and even speak. Kindle changed reading forever. Prime transformed shipping expectations. Alexa brought artificial intelligence into our homes. Every idea that started small became monumental because Bezos believed in scaling fast and learning faster. And while Amazon dominated Earth, Jeff's eyes turned toward the stars. His company, Blue Origin, was founded on the dream of making space travel accessible to everyone. The idea that humanity's long-term survival depends on expanding beyond our planet. Gradatim ferociatur, Latin for step by step, ferociously. That was the motto, a reflection of the same patience and persistence that had built Amazon. Behind the billionaire image, behind the headlines and the numbers, there's still that young boy from Albuquerque, curious, relentless, and unafraid to dream bigger than the world allows. Bezos' journey wasn't about luck or timing, it was about relentless focus and discipline. He built systems that worked, teams that believed, and a company culture that thrived on long-term thinking. The story of Jeff Bezos is more than the story of Amazon. It's a story about the courage to act when no one else sees what you see, about betting on the future and being willing to look foolish in the present. It's about obsession, not with success, but with possibility. So what can young dreamers and entrepreneurs learn from Jeff Bezos' rise from a garage to a global empire? First, that vision means seeing what others can't. When you believe deeply enough in your idea, you don't need external validation. You just need the courage to start. Second, patience is power. Great things take time, and the road to success is rarely smooth. Bezos faced rejection, losses, and doubt, but he stayed focused on the long game. And third, never stop experimenting. Innovation thrives on trial and error. The willingness to fail is the foundation of eventual greatness. From one small garage to a global network connecting millions of people every second, Bezos' story reminds us that greatness often starts in quiet places, in garages, in small rooms, in dreams whispered late at night. It's not where you start that defines you, it's how far you're willing to go. As you listen to this story, remember, the next great empire might just be forming in your own room right now. The world may not see it yet, but that's exactly how every revolution begins. So if you're someone with a dream, hold on to it, nurture it, protect it. Because one day when the world finally catches up, you'll look back and realize that every long night, every risk, every setback was worth it. This is Success Chronicles, where we celebrate visionaries who turn the impossible into reality. If this story inspired you, make sure to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. Not for us, but for you. Because every week we bring you stories that remind you what's possible when you refuse to give up. Until next time, remember, greatness doesn't start in palaces or boardrooms. It starts in garages, in small ideas, and in brave hearts that dare to dream big.